Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to Sir Ahmad and fellow friends. Have you ever heard about curing a disease using a snake venom? All it takes is a single bite or a sting and you could be dead within minutes. Venom, whether it's from fish, insects or reptiles, can be extremely potent. However, it's not always deadly. Venom has evolved countless of times. As a result, depending on the species, each venom can contain unique components that could be beneficial for medical purposes. So today I'm going to talk about the medical uses of snake venom on bodily disorders. After doing countless hours of research on this topic, I thought I could share some new insights with all of you. My presentation today will be focusing on two main parts, which are the treatment of cardiovascular and blood circulatory disorders and neurological disorders, which will be presented by my partner Ain. So let's get started. For the first part, the treatment of cardiovascular and blood circulatory disorders, I will be explaining about the inhibitions of platelet aggregation and snake venom as therapeutic defibrillation. Firstly, the inhibitions of platelet aggregation. Cysticerus miliaris barbari, also known as the southeastern pygmy rattlesnake, its venom contains glycoprotein type 2B and type 3A receptor antagonists, such as integrin. This receptor antagonist helps in inhibiting the binding of ligands to activated glycoprotein type 2B and 3A receptor, thus preventing the formation of platelet thrombi. Next. So this is the eptifibatide, which is the derivative of this integrin protein from the venom. It is used to reduce the risk of acute cardiac ischemic events in patients with unstable angina, both in patients undergoing percutaneous coronary intervention and those who are receiving non-surgery medical treatment. Percutaneous coronary intervention is formerly known as angioplasty with stent. Have you ever heard of angioplasty? Angioplasty uses a catheter, which is a thin flexible tube that which will be inserted into the artery, and then the balloon tip will inflate and compress the plaque and expand the artery. So let's move on to the next point. Therapeutic defibrillation. Trimeresurus tertianegri, also known as the Chinese pit viper, contains a potent hemotoxin that can destroy the blood tissues and the blood plasma. However, it also contains a plasminogen activator that can cause the dissolution of fibrin clot. On the next slide, I'll be explaining about how it works. CSGPA is a snake venom serine proteinase that specifically activates plasminogen. Plasminogen activator will catalyze the conversion of plasminogen to plasmin. Plasmin is an important enzyme that degrades many blood plasma protein, including fibrin clots. So now let's move on to the next point that which will be presented by Ain.
So now, I will talk about the treatment of neurological disorders with snake venom. So the first part will be about the treatment of Parkinson's disease, and for the second part, which is about to be used as a painkiller. So what exactly is Parkinson's disease? Parkinson's disease is a disease caused by a loss of nerve cells in the part of the brain called the substantia nigra. the nerve cells in this part of the brain are responsible for producing a chemical called dopamine, which acts as a messenger. So when there is a reduced levels of dopamine in the brain, there won't be a messenger that can help control and coordinate body movements. So the tripeptide, which is isolated from the species Bothrops venom, has a neuroprotective and also neurotrophic effects on a cellular model of a Parkinson's disease. So how does it work? First, a tripeptide is isolated from the Bothrops venom, and this peptide is called glutamic acid valine tryptophan. Then, it is added to P12 cells. P12 cells are generally the nerves in the brain. It significantly decreases the activities of the chemicals that causes these nerve cells loss. After that, it increases neuritogenesis, which is the process of forming new neurons, which extends from the cell body. Thus, it has the potential to protect against dopaminergic neurons loss, therefore treating Parkinson's disease. For my next point, I will be talking about venom to be used as a painkiller. So venom from the Ophiophagus henna has a potent analgesic activity. It is many times greater than morphine, with the difference that the venom does not cause any drug addiction. So one of the substances within the venom is ohanin, and ohanin causes two things. First is hyplocomotion, which is the inhibition of physical or behavioral activity. And the second one is hyperalgesia, which is the heightening of sensitivity to pain. So how it works is, firstly, the protein ohanin is taken out and then detoxified. What this does is that the modified ohanin disrupts the nitric oxide synthase in neurons. This nitric oxide synthase is involved in pain. So by reducing this production, it also reduces pain. Thus, it acts as a painkiller. So to conclude, venom has a lot of uses to treat bodily disorders. As Farzana has mentioned, it treats cardiovascular and blood circulatory disorders by inhibiting platelet aggregation and as a therapeutic defibrillation. Next, it treats neurological disorders such as Parkinson's disease and also by acting as a painkiller. Finally, I would like to add that not everything is as what it seems. After all, the most dangerous animal on earth might be the one that will save your life in the future. With that, I thank you.